Everybody, welcome to today's social media live is what I'm going to call it. Social media live because we've got TikTok here, we've got Facebook here, we've got YouTube here. I've gone glasses this morning. We've gone glasses for Tuesday, the 18th of March. I don't normally wear glasses because my light ring reflects in them. But anyway, there we go. Yes, there we go. So anyway, we're all good. This morning. It's Tuesday, 13th of March. The sun is shining. Hope you are all well. I hope you are all good for this morning. I'm rushed into the office this morning. I didn't get in here till about 5 minutes ago, so I don't actually know what's. I'm a bit like, what's going on? Anyway, we're here and we are all good. I talked about my Ninja Blaster last night. I can't wait to use this today. It has been on charge all evening. When solid purple, press and hold for 30 seconds blend. It is not solid purple. Is it meant to go solid purple? I have no idea. Do I need to turn it on? Oh, I've turned it on. Hang on, it's doing something. It doesn't say it's solid purple. It just says it's... Oh, is it solid purple? Does that mean I can blend it? Very good. Very good. Right, after that, we'll be using the Ninja Blast today to create something. I don't know what, but we will be using the Ninja Blast today to create something. Anyway, let's do the top 5 this morning on TikTok. Let's see who is in. Let's get up. Dempsey's in at number 1. Kelly C's in at number 2. Steph GC's in at number 3. Sheila is in at number 4. And Lisa is in at number 5. Hope I'm feeling better. I am feeling a bit better this morning. Seriously, I wasn't feeling ill yesterday. Just had a bit of a dodgy tummy. I'm not going to say it's gone, but it definitely feels a little bit better. I feel it's going to be a little bit delicate today. I'll take it a little bit easy with my eating today. And hopefully by tomorrow, I should be all good. I'm going to try and attempt the gym today. We'll see how that goes. Whether it's a decent training session or not, I have no idea. But we'll give it a go and we'll see where we end up. But yes, I have. Like I wasn't really feeling ill last night. Just got a bit of a dodgy tummy. And I just fancied a bit of an early night, really. But yeah, I'm kind of feeling okay. Right, let's scan up. Lou, good morning. Tony, good morning. Kirsty, good morning. Let me get the chat box up. Big Markson on YouTube as well. Good morning, mate. Lise, good morning. Dodds in. Claire, hi, hello. I've kind of just answered the am I feeling a bit better bit, so I'm not going to go for everyone's questions, but thank you very much, everyone, for asking. Lynn, good morning. Let's see what else in. Karen G, Carol, good morning. Donna's in, good morning. And Joy's in as well, good morning. Right, we are all good. So yesterday was day 1 for me, back at it properly after a week's holiday. Of course, we know that after a week's holiday, it can be a little bit trickier getting back into things. I personally don't find it trickier anymore. In a way, I kind of just get my head down, get into it, because I don't like feeling the way overeating kind of makes me feel. I've been the first 9-10 weeks of this year, I've been on top of the world. I've been absolutely flying. I felt really healthy. I felt really good. I felt really, really energized. Everything has been ticking over superbly. So obviously, then I've gone on holiday. I've had a week or so of overindulgence, and it makes you feel tired. It makes you feel lethargic. And I genuinely don't like, sorry, I'm just updating my app from yesterday because I altered it slightly just for Rachel's tea, and I needed to put my serving back in. Anyway, there we go. Yesterday, I wasn't feeling great. I ate 1,636 calories yesterday. But I suppose if we're going to take a little advantage of not feeling 100%, it might be the fact that we managed to control our calories all right. But yeah, what I tend to find is, and this is the same after Christmas, after that, I don't find it an issue getting straight back into my journey. But this week, probably, there will be a time where the hunger demons hit. That's what I tend to find. I tend to have a couple of days where, because my body's adjusting. I think when I first start back after a week of like holiday or Christmas, the motivation of wanting to get back into the journey. I've not weighed myself, so I don't actually know what my post-holiday weight gain is, but I know I've gained weight. So I don't really need to know what weight I've gained because I know I will have gained some weight. So that sort of kick me back in. It's my check-in on Friday. So I want, I would absolutely, I don't think this will happen, but I'd absolutely love on Friday to get on the scales on Friday and not see a gain. I'd love to see a maintain. So basically, I weighed myself the day I went on holiday. I've got back from holiday. I've still had a little bit of food freedom since getting back. I've only got back to my journey yesterday, right? And I would like to say I'd love to. Sorry, I don't know why I'm just unwrapping the lead that came with that Ninja Blast. I would love to see a maintain. I don't think that's going to happen. I'll tell you now where I'm at, right? I'll tell you now where I'm at. I think I'm going to see a £5 gain on Friday. I think I'm going to see a £5 gain, which I'd be all right with. I have a common trend of gaining about £10. I don't know why. That just seems to be where my body stops in terms of bit of water retention. So at Christmas, I gained £9.2. The difference between, I don't think I was as indulgent on my holiday as I was at Christmas, but I was in a hot country. And a hot country causes a lot of dehydration, even though I've drunk a lot, right? And also, I gain a lot of water retention from flying. I don't know if anyone else does that, but when I get back from a holiday, my legs are swollen, my ankles are swollen. I just seem to gain a lot of water retention from flying, especially if it's quite a long flight. And it was nearly 6 hours coming back from Egypt. So I just think I'm definitely bloated. I feel bloated. So I reckon if I'd weighed myself on Monday, I would have been probably 10, maybe even 12 pounds heavier. And I will drop 6, 7, 8 of those pounds, hopefully by Friday. That's what I'm kind of guesstimating. Drinking plenty of water, keeping the hydration up. So that's what I'm guessing. And to be honest with you, if I am 4 or 5 pounds heavier on Friday, I'll take that. I'm more than happy with that. That means I'm still about 20 pounds down from the beginning of the year. Right, I've got nothing. I've got a couple of bits to navigate through. Now, my next focus now is I've got another holiday 6 weeks tomorrow, which is a mate's 50th. We're going to Fuengirola for a few days. It's going to be a boozy one, but it is only a few days. It's 4 nights. So it's going to be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The Saturday, because I'm traveling back on the Sunday, and I'm traveling back quite early on the Sunday, won't be a boozy one, really. I'll have a couple of beers in the afternoon, nothing major, but I'll probably just get myself an early night. I've probably got to leave, I think, Fuengirola, I think I fly at 20 to 10. So I need to be at the airport for 20 to 8, which means I'm going to have to leave Fuengirola probably around about 20 to 10. 20 to 10. No, 20 to 11 I fly. So 9:40 I need to be at the 8:40. So I probably need to leave about 8 o'clock. I probably need to leave the airport about 8 o'clock at the hotel. So it's not stupidly early morning, but I'm not going to want a late night. So really, it's just going to be 3 kind of quite heavy drinking days, right? And then I'll be back at it. So that's my next focus. I have got a social event on the 5th of April before then to sort of navigate, but it's just a night out. It's actually the person whose 50th I'm going on. They're having a joint 40th and 50th with another friend here in the UK. So I'm going to go to that. I'll probably have a few beers. Again, it'll be nothing major. That'll probably be the next time I have a drink, to be honest with you. I'm going to have a couple of weekends off the booze. And then when that's done, and then I probably won't drink again until I go to Fuengirola. We have got Easter coming up. Easter will be Easter eggs, but other than that, again, there shouldn't be too much that I need to sort of navigate through or dodge. So it's all good, Right, let me scan down, see if I've missed anything. Morning, mate. I sent you a WhatsApp. Don't know if you've seen it, but someone is cloning your posts. No, they're not. But anyone can clone my posts anyway. I don't care. That's what social media is all about. But anyway, thanks for looking out for me if that is the case. But now someone can clone my post, that's fine. I take honour in that. Thank you very much. If you think my content's good enough to copy and paste it, go for it. I had sickness and diarrhea Friday and Saturday. This is the first day I've actually felt hungry. Oh, honestly, yeah, yesterday. My tummy was in somersaults from yesterday afternoon. It does touch wood. It doesn't feel too bad this week. It doesn't feel great. I'm not saying it's 100%, but it feels better than yesterday. I was laid in bed last night and I was freezing cold. I had a duvet on. I had 2 blankets on. Right, yeah, a duvet on, 2 blankets on. It was so cold. It really, really was. But yeah, it's all good. Oh, I'm in Fringarola now, mate. Of course, mate. I will get back to you very, very shortly, Charlie. I meant to do your check-in yesterday, but things just run away with me. And I did see that you said that you were on holiday. But yeah, if someone needs to call my place, fine, mate. Honestly, I'm not bothered at all. It happens on social media. It happens, but it just is what it is. People nick your content all the time. It is what it is. But anyway, thank you for your concern and looking out for me, mate. But it's like when I say no, it's like there's nothing you can do about it. If people are nicking your content, it happens. But it's all good. But anyway, thank you. Thank you for looking out for me, mate. And how is Fringarola? Tell me. I've never been. Charlie, I'll be messaging you for some tips, mate. I'll be messaging you. I'll be messaging you for some tips, pal. Because I've never been. I have never ever been. I've never been. Right. Let's go down. Maureen, good morning. Oh, good morning. Good morning. Love the Aldi haul and weight loss blog. Yes, I did an Aldi haul yesterday. Just like a little bit of a reset. Shopping haul yesterday. Just decided to film it. So yeah, nipped into Aldi. Got a few essentials, me yogurt, me fruit, me bits and pieces. Couple of bits for tea, which didn't actually end up being for tea last night because after filming that vlog, I started to feel a little bit poorly. So we're gonna have it tonight. I think tonight I've got what have we got tonight? Yeah, I think we're gonna do the roast chicken dinner tonight. I was meant to do it last night. I think we're gonna do it tonight. Hopefully, if the tummy holds up, and then what was I going to say? Yeah, and then tomorrow night, tonight was meant to be having a cheeseburger, like Big Mac salad. We'll do that tomorrow night. So we'll just bump it on a day, so it's all good. Morning, everyone. Anna, good morning. No problem. Let me scan down. Tell me what the weather's like as well. My mate's actually booked to go to Fuengirola 1st of April. But I think the weather will be pretty decent. It's one of them this time of year. Anywhere in Spain, really. The sun's out. It's lovely and warm, right? It's lovely and warm. It's not hot enough to use pools, really. But if the sun's out, it's generally lovely and warm. It's just you can get a little bit of rain in March. That's what I sort of see in Spain. But anyway, I hope you're having a good time, mate. Definitely check the frozen Lidl section. Got so many new protein bits. Yeah, I've not been back. I will. I'll probably hit Lidl up this weekend, something like that. Anyway, let me scan down again, see if I have missed anything. Adam Kelly, good morning, mate. Cam's morning, mate. Morning, Cam. And I don't know if I've said good morning to you anyway. Anyway, there we go. But we're all good. So this week it's just getting back into the swing of things, really. I started tracking last Thursday. I did cover this in my weekly weight loss vlog yesterday. Started tracking about last Thursday, but didn't really care about calories. I've not really looked too much at calories Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I've just tracked just to get back into the routine of things. Yesterday, I had 1,600 calories. And to be honest with you, although I had a bit of a dodgy tummy yesterday, it didn't really stop my appetite. I just couldn't be bothered cooking last night. So I basically had my yogurt bowl for breakfast. I had the Singapore noodles for my lunch. I only ate about half of them, though. Didn't fancy the rest. Not because they were bad, really, just because I think this thing was sort of kicking in. And then last night I just had beans on toast with a bit of cheese on, and that went down fine. I say it went down fine. It did go down fine. I really enjoyed it. And it's just what I fancied, something simple and straightforward. rather than cooking a biggish tea. So I had 1,636 calories. My mission yesterday was 2,000. That's actually my mission for the first 3 days, was 2,000 calories on average. So again, we'll see how we get on today. I probably might have a little bit of yogurt for my breakfast this morning, test my stomach, see where it's at. I've got to finish this live a little bit early. I'm going to finish it at 9:25, only because we've got to take Blossom to the vet. We're going to get her spayed. We've ummed and ahed about it. We were tempted to breed off her because she's such an amazing dog. And we want another cockapoo puppy. So we're like, well, let's breed off her and then we'll have one of her pups. But we've sort of decided, with Rachel going back into work, like full-time employment, we wouldn't have time now to it just isn't an option to breed off her. So yeah, we're not gonna bother. So because of that, we've just decided if we want another cockapoo pup, we'll probably just go back to her breeders and get one from them if they're still breeding. So we're gonna get a spade. And we want to kind of get it done because we're away in June, and Rachel's mum's going to have her in June, but I'm away in a few weeks as well. And Rachel, depending on what she decides to do, whether she takes the time off work or not, she might have to go to Rachel's mum's, and that is probably May time she's due to go into season. And Rachel's mum also looks after Rachel's cousin's dog a few days a week, and he hasn't been neutered. So yeah, we don't want cockapoo black lab mixed puppies running around. So we're taking her to the vets today just to have her checked out, make sure she's all ready. She's in a position where we can book her in, and then we're going to get her booked in and get a spade. So I'm in the vets at 10 to 10. And the vets is about 20 minute drive from the house. We're going to finish at 9:25, and then it'll give me time to get to the vets. Your vids have helped me so much. Thank you. Cheers, Martin. Hi, Neil. I hope you're well. I'm very good. Thank you. I've had a bit of a dodgy tummy yesterday, and it's still not 100% now, but I'm all right. I'm finding myself. I'm back on my weight loss, 38 pounds down so far. Brilliant, Martin. As always, mate, consistency is key. If we're going through periods of losing weight for a period of time, then gaining it back, then losing weight for a period of time, then gaining it back, right? We're on a roller coaster of weight loss, and we have to ask ourselves, why? Why does this journey keep ending? What is the reason for it? And it's the thing that's going to massively hold us back. It really, really is. Yeah. It's really going to hold us back. Why do we go through these periods of losing weight, then gaining it back? Is it down to the method we're using? Is it down to over restriction? So some people might use my philosophies of weight loss. So, calorie counting, lower calories during the week, few higher calories at the weekend. But if you're using that, but your lower calories during the week are 1,200 calories, 1,300 calories a day, your higher calories at the weekend are 1,800 calories a day, that might be over restriction. Even if the approach is the right one, you can do the right approach in the wrong way, right? You genuinely can, yeah? So we do need to ask ourselves, if we keep having these periods of when I'm on it, I'm losing, right? And then I'm going back to gain it. Why does that period end? Is it a mental thing, right? Are you not tackling the reasons why you have a weight issue in the first place, right? Is it your mental health that, I've just had a bad couple of months with my mental health, right? Well, that's something you need to work on alongside. I know it's not as easy as going, oh, I'll just sort my mental health out then, right? But it's something you have to work on. Now, if you are going through periods of weight loss, right, and then that period of weight loss ends, but you are maintaining your losses when it ends, and then your weight loss kicks back in, that's all good. That's part of the journey. It's not about, especially depending on how much weight you've got to lose, it isn't about losing. It's not about this smooth trajectory. Start your journey, get to your goal, and it's just this smooth thing. When I look at my weight loss journey, I lost 10 stone in my first year. So from February 2014 to March 2015 I lost about 10 stone, right? I lost about 10 stone. right? And then from March 2015 to around February 2016, I kind of plateaued. I didn't stop losing weight, but I lost about 10 pounds, 11 pounds, right? Maybe up to a stone. So, first year of my weight loss journey, I lost 10 stone. Yeah. Second year of my weight loss journey, I lost maybe a stone maximum, right? But I never regressed. I never regressed backwards. Yeah. 2016 was when I wanted to have my first skin removal surgery, and that kicked the motivation in. And that's when I first started tracking calories using an app, using MyFitnessPal. And through 2016, I probably lost about another 3 or 4 stone, something maybe 4 stone, something like that. So it kicked back in. So by the end of 2016, I was about 15 stone down, something like that. Going into 2017, again, motivation was good. Carried on consistently losing weight, lost another 2 or 3 stone, something like that. I then went on holiday in May 2017. And although it wasn't, I didn't have what I call a roller coaster where lost weight, slowly gained it back, lost weight. But I went on holiday and I gained 30 pounds in 2 weeks. I went absolutely crazy on this holiday, eating, drinking. And actually, I always try and take a positive out of any negative. And the positive was it kind of taught me then from any holiday I've been on since then, I've tried to kind of rein it in a little bit and not go as crazy. And I don't know what it was. Well, I do know what it was. I've discussed this before. I won't go into the details now. But yeah, I just went crazy with my eating. Really, really crazy with my eating. And you know, and I gained a bit back. But I came back from holiday. It was a bit of a shock, but I got straight back into my journey. And when I ended what I call my first weight loss phase, so I was sort of about, when I went into that holiday, I was about 17 and a half stone down. I came back out of that holiday and I was like 15 and a half stone down. And then when I got to, I lost that weight by November. And when it got to November 2017, I've been on the journey 3 years, 9 months. And that's when I sort of ended what I call my first weight loss phase. And it wasn't a smooth trajectory, but when I had periods, and when I say I lost like in 2016, I lost another 4 stone. Again, it wasn't just smooth 4 stone loss. I really got my head down for the first, from February to June or July 2016. I lost about 3.5 stone because then I went for my skin removal operation. After my skin removal operation, from healing from that, not being able to train, not that the training caused it, but it just had a little bit of a domino, a little bit of a knock-on effect. I sort of probably plateaued for the rest of the year from that. And then, like I said, then things kicked back in January. So what I'm trying to say is, your weight loss journey doesn't need to be loss, week in, week out for years on end. It can be a period of loss, period of maintain, period of loss, then a period of maintain. So I probably did a year of loss, yeah. Then I did a year of kind of maintain. I did lose a little bit, but it was very, very slow. Then I probably did 6 months of loss, then 6 months of maintain. Then I did sort of 5 months of loss. Then I had that big gain from holiday, and then I did another 4 or 5 months of loss. So it wasn't that smooth trajectory, but I never regressed backwards. And even from that first weight loss phase of November 2017, I've never regressed. So I was 20 stone, 5 pounds in November 2017 when I kind of ended that weight loss phase. Now, don't get me wrong, I've been 4 stone lighter than that going forward. And I have gained. So from that November 2017, I've had a bit of a roller coaster, right? I've had a bit of a roller coaster. But from that initial weight loss phase, I have never regressed back from that. I've never, ever gone like higher for more than a couple of weeks, higher than 20 stone, 5 pounds. And like I say, I've been quite a bit lighter and I've gained some back. And again, it's just a learning curve for me. There's been a lot of learning curves. And I'm still learning now. I'll still be learning next year. I'll still be learning in 5 years' time how this journey works. But my main focus is always that number, 20 stone, 5 pounds. Right? And I'm not saying that's a skinny mini. It really, really isn't. For context, I am 6'5" tall. So I'm a big guy. Right? I'm just a big guy anyway. So, 20 stone, 5 pounds on someone 6'5" is totally different than 20 stone 5 pounds on someone that's 5'8". But it's still, I still want to be a bit lighter than that, and I am a bit lighter than that now. Before I went on holiday, I was just under 19 stone. So, and my main target and focus is to get to 18. That's my main target and focus. If I decide, and once I get to 18 stone, I'm just going to work on maintaining that for a little bit. If I then decide to push that and go a little bit lighter than that, the lightest I've ever been is just under 17 stone, about 16 stone, 10 pounds. I think that's the lightest I've ever been. And that was mid 2019. Whether I get back down to that weight again, I've always convinced myself that I couldn't get back down to that weight again because I'm not a personal trainer anymore. But I think maybe that's just a bit of an excuse. Yeah. It's been similar for me. I've lost 4.5 stone since 2022, but it's slow and not always losing. Gabby, that's brilliant though. Again, it's like it's just not having that period of regression, because when we have that period of regression where we go backwards, it means old habits are creeping back in, or old habits come back in. And this is what we do need to permanently eliminate, that old lifestyle that led us to being overweight in the first place. That is where we need to get to. We need to get rid of that old lifestyle. Yeah. My regress was a loss of focus in dealing with grief and spiraled into comfort eating. And you know what, Martin? It's not, what you need to do with that. This might sound a little bit harsh. But I understand, like certainly with grief, it is a big trigger for people to regress. It is something people use as a reason because it's comfort eating. But if you're using, and don't get me wrong, grief is one of the, a bereavement in the family, especially if it's close to you, is one of, the biggest triggers for emotional eating. But we need to learn from that. If we have a death in the family and we regress on our journey, so it affects our physical and mental health from it, unfortunately, and hopefully we don't have many of these, when we have another death in the family, we can't use anything as a reason to be detrimental to our health, right? We can't, and we have to learn from it. So the fact that you've had that once and obviously, I don't want I don't want people to be having permanent, grief and stuff in the family, but we do use it as an excuse. And don't get me wrong, I think in some ways it's a viable excuse. It's certainly, if you lose someone, it's certainly for 2 or 3 weeks, right? While you're kind of digesting it, while you're kind of coming to terms with it, while you're sort of sorting out any funeral arrangements, and by the time and then you have the funeral, I get it. And I don't think that'll ever change for anyone, right? But you don't undo in 2 to 3 weeks, right, what you've achieved in 6, 12 months. So if you've lost 50, 60 pounds, right, and then you have 2 to 3 weeks of emotional eating because your journey's not the priority because you're never going to gain 50, 60. You might gain 10 pounds, you might gain 15 pounds, but you're never going to regress all the way backwards, right? And then once the funeral's done, that's like the close, and then you've got to get back onto your journey. Unfortunately, people will, and like I say, I know you can't turn grief off, right? And I know some people grieve for months on end, but we just have to use it as a learning curve. When my dad passed away, I wasn't on my weight loss journey. When I lost my dad in 2013, I basically went on a 6-month bender, right? I did. I was out 4 or 5 nights a week. I was drinking heavily. I was doing other things as well. And I didn't care. I didn't care about me. It was and I was overeating as well. I was using food and alcohol as a coping mechanism. And I don't actually know what weight I will have gained from that. No idea. I've always been overweight. I've not weighed myself before it. But what I did do was I did damage to my body in those 6 months. I know I did. I probably did damage to my body that I'm still kind of suffering with a little bit now. Right? But it was my coping mechanism. But it made me feel, it took me to the point where I was done with life. Right? 18 months, not even 18 months, 12 months into my weight loss journey, pretty much 12 months to the day of my weight loss journey, I lost my grandfather. I lost my grandpa. And my grandpa was like, he was so close to me, right? And he was someone I idolized. He was my hero. And I felt he was more of a dad to me than my dad, if I'm going to be brutally honest. I have said this before. And I remember, and I've been seeing Rachel for about 3 weeks at the time. And my grandfather passed away on the 16th of February, 2015. I can remember the day now, right? And it was probably a year and 2 weeks to the day of me starting my weight loss journey. And I'd lost 10 stone. I was doing really good. And I remember messaging Rachel, and I just messaged her saying, I'll probably see you in a month or two. That is the message I sent her. And she was like, what? Why? I said, because I'm going to the pub and I might not come out of there for a couple of months. I literally, that was my mindset, because that's the only way I knew to cope with grief, right? I'd never really lost anyone. I'd lost both my dad's parents died when I was very young, so I don't really remember them. We have a very small family. I don't have any aunties, uncles, cousins. And my dad was the first person I lost that was very close to me. And I lost my dad, my dog, and my nan within 2 months. So my grandpa that passed away in February, my nan died like just after my dad, about 18 months before my grandpa passed away. And that was what I knew. And I knew the only way I knew to cope with grief, because the only grief I'd really felt, was my dad dying. And the only way I knew to cope with that was going on a bender to the pub. And that's what I planned to do. And I remember going to the hospital. I remember the doctor taking me into a room and telling me, I'm sorry, your grandpa passed away this morning. And I wasn't. It was maybe slightly different. My grandpa was 95. He'd had a great innings. He was ready to go after my nan. He kept saying that to me all the time. I'm just ready to go. I'm really tired. And his body had broken, but his head was 100%, which I think is even harder. And I messaged Rachel. I said, I'll probably see you in a couple of months. And that was it. And she's messaging me why, and I just ignored her. And I was a knob. I know I was, right? And I went to the pub and, I put it on like people do, lost my grandpa this morning, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to the pub for a couple of beers if anyone's free. A few mates come in. I sat and had a pint, then I had another pint, right? Then I had a third pint, I think, something like that. And I was drinking my third pint, and I was like, this isn't me anymore. I don't want to. In my head, I'm like, I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow. Right? I know that sounds like that. I was like, I want to go to the gym. So I don't want. And I messaged Rachel, and I just said, I'm really, really sorry. I said, blah, blah, blah. I said, will you come pick me up? And she was like, yeah. She said, I'm finishing work in about half an hour. I'll come and grab you. So I was like, brilliant. So she come pick me up. We went out for tea. I think I might have had another pint when we went out for tea. And we went home. And that was it. And that was it. And I did. And the next day I went to the gym. And that was really cemented to me. I was like, this is my change. 18 months ago, I lost my dad. And my answer was food and drink, right? And other things. And 18 months later, I've lost my grandpa, who to me was closer to me than my dad. And my coping mechanism was, I want to go to the gym. I don't want to ruin this journey, right? Because he was really proud of me. He managed to see the amount of weight I'd lost so far, and I just didn't want to do it. So it is, like I say, it is just a learning curve, and that might sound. And like I say, I'm not trying to say that, the only other person I've got to lose in my life now that I would say that's direct is my mum, right? And I don't want to be that person who goes, oh, well, because my mum might pass away and I might go on a bender for 3 months. I don't know. But I don't think I will, because it's not me anymore. It's not who I am. I don't need to use food as a coping mechanism. And that's just where we need to work to get into. But, it does sound harsh. And when we lose someone, like I say, I can't talk, because when I lost my dad, I did use food and booze as a coping mechanism. But what I'm trying to say is, so I totally understand people that do that. But if we have done that now on a journey and it's made us regress, we just need to learn from it. And your health is important. So like I say, first couple of weeks of losing someone, yeah, go eat, go drink. Your priorities is, like I say, is trying to digest it, trying to get it into your mindset, trying to come to terms with things, sorting out arrangements. But you're never going to undo 2, 3, even 4 weeks what you might have achieved 6, 12, 18 months, you know. You never are. But you do need to learn from it. If you've done great on your journey, prioritize yourself, and then you lose someone, and that sets you back for 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, we can't do that because your life's important. Your life is important. Yeah. Do you think serving sizes are realistic? Yes and no. It depends on the product. Cereal serving sizes, no. 30 grams, 35 grams, pathetic. You know, microwave rice, half a packet. Yeah, it is realistic. And this is what I always put like, half a packet of microwave rice, chicken, broccoli, and people are like, well, that wouldn't fill me. I was like, well, that's why you're overweight. And it is kind of a little bit like that because that's how I used to think. Now, don't get me wrong. The amount of food we need to eat or the amount of food we eat is always going to be relative to the individual, right? So for someone that is, maybe 12, 13 stone and they want to lose a couple of stone, half a packet of rice might be a little bit too much. I doubt it for a lot of people. But it's things like, serving size is half a tin of beans. Half a tin of beans, is a decent sized portion depending on who you are. For me personally, someone commented yesterday because I had beans on toast with me last night. Oh, I think a full tin of beans is a bit too much. Well, it depends, By the time I ate my tea last night, I think I'd had 600 calories all day, right? And I'm a big guy and I move a lot. So for me, a full tin of beans, 735 calorie beans on toast, for me, it is. And when I post like, this is what I had for my tea, or this is plate up my weight loss tea with me, some people might look at that and go, I'd love to be able to you eat your portion size to you, right? Yeah, I show my calories because those are my calories. But Rachel, she doesn't eat as much for, if I have Rachel's tea last night, she had, I had 2 slices of toast with butter on, with beans, with 30 grams of mature cheddar sprinkled on top and a drizzle of barbecue sauce. It was like 740 calories. Rachel had a slice and a half of toast. She had half a tin of spaghetti. She still had 30 grams of, so she had 7 grams of butter. She had 30 grams of cheese. So her tea last night was just over 500 calories. It was 200 calories. She had half a slice of toast less than me, right? And she had half a tin of beans, and she only had half a tin of spaghetti. She had spaghetti, I had beans, right? So her portion was just over 500 calories, yeah? Lost my mum 2.5 years ago. My nana and my granddad and my auntie last month. But looking after my own health, the kids and my wife has kept me going. Absolutely, Tom. And like I say, and that's, I never want to come across as harsh or, I'm not that sort of person. And I do totally understand why people struggle and why, certainly with bereavement, especially if people are close to you. But, everyone loses people, right? People that don't have an issue with their weight lose people and they don't tend to gain loads of weight through it. They might have a couple of weeks where they, have a few drinks, they use things to numb the pain a little bit. I get that. And I'm not saying not to do that. But what I'm saying is you can't let a bereavement, something that should really only stop this journey or put a pause button on for a few weeks, people have it put a pause button on for months and months and months on end to the point where they regress. And we can't do that. We need to not do that. We need to learn from that because, like Tom just said there, he lost his mum 2.5 years ago, which is absolutely, I think losing a parent is probably the most brutal thing you can lose. And then last month he lost his nana, his granddad, and his auntie. To lose 3 members of immediate family in a month is absolutely brutal. But as Tom just said there, looking after his own health, right, and then doing that for his kids and his wife, right, is more important. Is always going to be number one. Your immediate health and your current is always going to be number one. And this is what, and like I say, you can't change the past, but you can change the future. And whereas I use food and drink as a coping mechanism for my dad, I'm in a different place now. And I think any bereavement or grief we go through or I go through going forward, I will desperately try not to use food and drink anymore as that coping mechanism. That's all I was trying to say. Yeah. Right, let me go down. I bought weighing scales because I think I'm putting in 40 grams, but eating a lot more than I think. You've bought weight, Tony. You should always have weighing scales. They are an essential. If you're guesstimating, and I think this is where a lot of people do go wrong with the accuracies of tracking calories. I've had so many. I'm eating 1,800 calories a day and I'm not losing weight. You're not eating it. Or I'm eating 1,500 calories a day. You're not. Right? And these are, no, I am. And then I'm like, you cannot know, right? If you're not weighing your food, right? If you're buying something that's in a packet, you scan the barcode, right? Now, I'm not saying barcodes. I'm not saying, a lot of people ask me this, like, are barcodes accurate? Are packaging, is what's on the label accurate? Yeah, it is to a point. The FSA, the Food Standards Agency, allow people or products to be up to 20% out, right? Now, that might sound like a lot. You might be like, right, so if I'm eating something that's 1,000 calories, that means it could be 1,200 calories or it could be 800 calories. Yeah, it genuinely could, right? But, so why did the FSA give that swing? They give that swing for a couple of reasons. And the actual main reason is portions, like size. So you might buy something and it says it's 100 grams, right? I guarantee if you take the contents of a tin of beans, right? Take the content. Beans actually are pretty bang on. That's probably not a good example. Meat is a good example. Meat is a good example, right? I've done this with Aldi. A fillet steak at Aldi is 170 grams. That's the serving size. I've had fillet steaks from Aldi that are 150 grams. I've had fillet steaks from Aldi that are 200 grams. Yet on the packet, it's 170. And when you scan the barcode, it puts it in as 170. Now, you might be like, oh, God, right, so I need to even weigh. I wouldn't, right? Because generally, it will even itself up. I've never been that pedantic with tracking calories. And I lose, I can only go off my own experience, but I've never ever gone, slices of bread, right? A slice of bread is, I think it says it's 46 grams. Like a slice of Warburton's toasty bread. I think it says on the packet it's about 46 and a half grams, I think, right? Go get a loaf of bread, all right, and weigh every slice. One slice will be 44 grams. One slice will be 48 grams, they'll differ slightly, but I've never ever been that pedantic about, if I had two slices of Warburton's toasty bread last night for my beans on toast, I just put it in as two slices of bread. One might have been more, one might have been less. But if you start getting that pedantic about it, it will make tracking calories unsustainable, right? Because you don't need to, like I say, you just don't need to be that pedantic about it, right? Because if you're not that pedantic about it, but you are consistent, right? So you definitely track your two things of bread, right? Your two slices. It in the grand scheme of things, it will all even itself out over a week, right? Over a month, yeah. But that's the main reason why the FSA give that 20% swing. So a piece of bread might be 115 calories. You might just get one slice of bread out. It actually might be 130. You might get a slice of bread out. It actually might be 5. But like I say, it all evens itself out over time. But we do need to give ourselves the best chance of being as accurate as we can. So yeah, if you're just scanning a barcode, the actual size of that slice of bread might differ slightly to because they just work on averages, right? What do you mean they work on averages? Well, a loaf of Warburton's toasted bread is 800 grams, right? And there might be 16 slices. So they just go, right, we use a machine, 800-gram loaf of bread, 16 slices, divide 800 by, and it comes out with this number, right? That's it. Yeah. But you also, to improve your accuracy, if you are at home and you are having cereal, yogurt, you've got to weigh it. You've got to weigh it. Milk, weigh it. It takes seconds. I mean that. So to weigh so yesterday I had beans on toast for my tea, right? I just scan the bread, 2 slices of bread, done. Scan the beans, tin of beans, done, right? But I had 30 grams of mature cheddar cheese. I've got a little pot on my scales and weighed out 30 grams of mature cheddar cheese. I guarantee, right, if I just gone sprinkle of cheese on there, it'd have been 50 grams, right? And you got sprinkle of cheese, that's about 30 grams, that'll do. If you're doing that all the time, yeah, that's about 30 grams. That's about 50 grams. Milky Me Brew, that's about 10 mil, right? That will add up over a week to being quite inaccurate. It really, really will. So yes, it's an essential to have a set of kitchen scales. It really, really is. Yeah. Now, there's certain little tips and tricks. Where you don't need to weigh. So, like, I have the white rice from Aldi all the time, the packet white, and it's only me that eats it generally, right? So I'll have half a pack one day, half a pack another day. Same with any microwave rice, right? I tend not to. So if I get a pack of microwave rice, they're 250 grams. So 125 grams on one portion. Sometimes I'll just guesstimate half a packet of rice in a bowl and microwave it, and what's left I'll just put in the fridge, and then the next day I'll just eat what's left. So out of a 250 gram packet of rice, right, I'll put half in one day and half in the other day. But if I guesstimate it, one day, like on Tuesday, I might have put 150 grams in my bowl, right? Which means on the Wednesday, I'm only getting 100 grams. Likewise, if I have half a packet of microwave rice today, I might just put 100 grams in my bowl, which means tomorrow I'll get 150 grams. But over the 2 days, it's still a packet of microwave rice. So there's things, same with tins of beans. I very rarely, if I'm having a tin of beans, like if I'm having half a tin of beans, right, I know I'll eat the other half because Rachel doesn't really eat beans, right? So I'll just scoop out what I think is half a tin of beans and I'll track it as half a tin of beans. And then 2 days later, I might have the other half a tin of beans. And like I say, a tin of beans is 400 grams. What, for me, guesstimating my first portion of beans, it could be 180 grams. It could be 250 grams if I'm being agreed. I'm like, yeah, that's about half, right? And it just means when I have the second tin, I'll track it as 200, but I might only be getting 150. It's just a smaller portion. But overall, I've tracked a full tin of beans. So there's little things like that you can do, so you don't quite need to be as pedantic with that. But things like I'll do my yogurt. If I have my yogurt bowl this morning, literally, the way I'm doing my yogurt bowls at the moment is bowl on the thing, because I'm doing them kind of like, I call them these natural Manjaro bowls because they just fill you up for hours. They just take away food noise and hunger for hours, right? And literally today, I will literally put in 150 grams of Greek yogurt, but I'll have a bowl on the scales, 0. 150 grams of Greek yogurt, 20 grams of protein powder, yeah, 5 grams of honey, yeah, 15 grams of chia seeds, right, all in, and then I'll put in 250 grams of various frozen fruits, right, which I'll have microwaved just to soften them up a little bit, and I'll mix all that up together, bang, right, but all that will be weighed out individually, right, and then on top I'll put 20 grams of granola on top, something like that, and just sprinkle it on top. Yeah, so I'll weigh each element. I'll weigh the 150 grams of yogurt, 0. 20 grams of protein powder, 0. Right? 5 grams of honey, 0. Yeah. My frozen fruit, I'll weigh that out. I use 80 grams. So 80 grams of strawberries, 80 grams of blueberries, 80 grams of raspberries, and then I'll ping it in the microwave and then I'll whack that in. So I'll weigh everything out. And it literally takes 30 seconds, but it means you're being accurate. Yeah. So you've got to weigh your food. You really, really have. Yeah. Eggs are always different too. Always weigh them. I don't, to be honest with you. Again, it's not something. If it's a large egg, it's a large egg. I track it as 70 calories. If it's a medium egg, it's a medium. So I just look at the packet, whether I put medium eggs or large eggs. I just track them as medium eggs or large eggs. Like I say, some eggs will be, some large eggs that I'm tracking as, I think 77 grams is tracked as a large egg. Some of those eggs will be 70. Some of them will be 85. Again, I won't be that. I'm not that. I wouldn't do that personally. But if you do that and it works for you, Just because I don't do it doesn't mean you don't need to do it. But yeah, eggs is just, what's the box? Medium. Bang. I never buy mixed weight eggs, right? I never do it because that would do my head in, right? I either buy medium, large, or Aldi do the extra large eggs. I have to buy, like you can get like the mixed weight, and I think they're a little bit cheaper. So you get like a dozen of 15, and it's all different. And some eggs are like that, some eggs are like that. I never buy those. I always buy, and if the box is a medium egg, it's a medium egg. If it's a large egg, it's large. I just track it as that, and I just use the standard NutriCheck thing, And again, I've got no reason to change that because from the beginning of January up to going on holiday, I lost over 20 pounds, and that's the way I track. Right, so I'm as accurate as I can be without being obsessive. That's kind of the balance. That is kind of the balance, maybe I need to try stop being so sad. And again, it's not. Look, we have to find what works for us. For me personally, if I was to weigh out slices of bread, weigh out eggs, weigh out certain things, it would do my nutting. It really, really would. You've got to find your own way. I would just find it. But some people, Rachel is like, I'll go into a pack of ham. A pack of ham is 120 grams. If there's 4 slices in there and I have 2 slices of ham, I just track it as 60 grams. Rachel will weigh it, right? She'll weigh it. So, that's 55 grams. Again, you've got to find what works for you. For me personally, what works for me is, like I say, I've always worked on with tracking calories, finding that balance between being as accurate as I can be, right? But not being obsessive. If you're obsessive with anything, you've not got a healthy relationship. And an unhealthy relationship will only last a certain amount of time. Right? That is the honest truth. So that is just, I just have to, you've got to find a little bit of what works for you, Right, let me scan down. Never thought of defrosting fruit, always waited overnight. I literally, I put 80 grams of, like today for my yogurt bowl, I'll do 80 grams of frozen strawberries, 80 grams of blueberries, 80 grams of frozen raspberries in a, like a little microwave dish. I'll ping it in the microwave for a minute, give it a run around, ping it in the microwave for another minute. Some of the fruit's still a little bit, some of the fruit ends up a little bit warm. Some of the fruit ends up still frozen. But by the time you mix it into your yogurt, it's just as it is, if that makes sense. If you do defrost your fruit in the microwave, and don't get me wrong, you can leave it out overnight. You can make your yogurt the night before. With these Manjaro, like the natural Manjaro bowls, as I'm calling them, right? I've started mixing a good amount of chia seeds in. If you actually make them the night before and leave the chia seeds, I don't know if you've seen chia seeds. People do chia seed drinks. Well, they go like frog spawn, basically. Now, don't get me wrong. Would I just want to drink a cup, like they really soak up water, which is volume, and it will take up loads of room in your tummy. Do I want to drink a cup of chia seeds? Absolutely not. But mixed in with yogurt, they actually make a pretty decent texture. You don't really know they're there. So, you could make these the night before. So you could, the night before, get your bowl out, put your frozen fruit in, put your yogurt in, stick it in the fridge. By the time you come in the morning, it will all be defrosted. If you are defrosting, if you don't defrost in the microwave, you need to remember that when these things melt, right, there's going to be quite a bit of liquid that comes out of them. So that's another reason why I quite like, depending on how thick my yogurt is, if my yogurt's really thick, I'll put everything into my yogurt bowl. If my yogurt isn't mega thick, I'll drain, when I've microwaved my fruit, I will drain some of the juice off and then just put the berries in. Yeah, so it's just, but again, you've got to find what works for you. Yeah. Hi Neil, is Brendan chia bread healthy option? Don't know what it is, Angela. What's that mean? Let me know and I'll have a look into it. I've never heard of it. Let me have a look at it. But again, always remember the difference between health and weight loss, right? If it's lower calorie or it fits in your calorie allowance, eat whatever bread you want to. But there's no bread out there really that's unhealthy. All these people, it's got 20 ingredients in it. for the amount that we should be eating it, a couple of slices a day, it won't affect like having some preservatives and additives in. The trace elements, they won't really affect anything. Right, I've got to go. I've got to go take the dog to the vet. I used to weigh everything for my son anyways. It's so easy. He's type 1 diabetic. So that is something where you need to weigh, especially when you've got a medical condition. But when you get into the habit of weighing, like Donna said there, it is so easy. It is so easy and straightforward. You know, people that say they haven't got time to weigh food, I'm like, that's just a poor excuse because it literally takes seconds. It literally takes seconds. It really, really does. Right, guys, it has been a pleasure as always. I will be back. No, I'm not back tonight. I will be back at 5 o'clock for this week's Weight Loss Coaching Live. First one. There's 2 Weight Loss Coaching Lives this week, tonight and tomorrow. I haven't sorted my topics out or anything yet. That's something I'm going to think about this afternoon. So I will put in the Facebook group and in the WhatsApp community what the topic's going to be about. We've got the Weight Loss Coaching Live at 5 p.m. tonight, Zoom tomorrow night. I don't think I'm going to be back on social media lives until Thursday morning. Thursday morning, right? Thursday morning. So we will definitely be back 9:30 Thursday morning. Can I say Thursday morning again? So 9:30 Thursday morning, I'll be back. TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and Thursday tea time. New live time this week. I'm only doing Monday nights as a live going forward, other than the Zoom every other week. So social media wise, we're not doing. I'm not doing nighttime lives now. Rachel's going back to work, but Thursday I'm going to do a tea time live, 4:30 till 5:30. All right, 4:30 till 5:30 on Thursday evening. Right, guys, it's been a pleasure as always. And hopefully, if you're on Planner in the community, I will see you at 5 tonight or 8 p.m. tomorrow night for the Zoom. If I'm free tomorrow morning, I'll see what's going on. Rachel starts work. I don't know if I'm taking her to work or not. If I'm not taking Rachel to work, she's going to take herself. Then I will probably do an impromptu live at 8:30. I might even do an impromptu live if I take Rachel to work and I come home. I'll see. But if I take Rachel to work, I'll probably go to the gym afterwards. So I don't know. So I might be on a live tomorrow. I might not. But I'll definitely be on the Zoom at 8 p.m. tomorrow evening. And then Thursday morning. Anyway, if I don't see you, make sure you are bossing your weight loss. TikTok, I will see you soon. Definitely Thursday morning. And exactly the same for you guys over here on Facebook and YouTube. I will definitely be back 9:30 a.m. Thursday morning. I'll see you then.